Hey, welcome. Hello. Oh, fade to black. Fade in. Hey, hey. Hey, so wait, say something real quick.
Hola.
Okay.
Yeah? No?
Yeah. Here, pull the mic a little closer. There you go. There you go. All right,
Hello,
cool.
friends.
All right, there you go. Hey, we're here. This is another one of these lovely podcasts flying by the seat of our pants. Today, my guest, Adrina, a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in person. I've talked to online, but I haven't talked to in person in like probably, 10 years?
Yeah, probably close to 10 years.
10 years. We met at a Dave and Buster's for our mutual friend's birthday party. And
That's my cousin.
cousin, excuse me,
Yeah, it's all
mutual
good.
cousin, friend, and
Mutual family.
mutual family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, and now here we are. You saw that I was doing these podcasts, and you said, "Hey,
I like to shoot the breeze.
yeah,
So.
you like people to hear you speak about."
I wouldn't say all that, but
Well, you've come to the
here I
wrong
am.
place.
I've come to the wrong place if I don't like to hear people hear me speak. That's for sure. No, I guess that's not why I came. I guess I wanted to come because, I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah,
Participate, offer my perspective.
Exactly. Appreciate you being here. I love talking about all kinds of different things. Now, you had brought up that you were interested in possibly doing some kind of sacred medicines podcast at some point.
Yeah,
And-
I'm studying kind of like herbology and different alternative healing methods and modalities, and sacred medicine is definitely a branch of that alternative medicinal lifestyle, I guess you could say. Then I have a few friends that are pretty heavy into it. One, a really strong advocate for LSD. The other is a really strong advocate for mushrooms. Psilocybin, I think, is the scientific name.
yeah.
But yeah, so I've had people in my close circles that have kind of introduced me to different things, and this is on top of my already budding interest that I've had for a while in herbs and alternative medicine. So
Right on.
yeah.
Right on. Well, yeah, yeah, it's good. The times are definitely changing with that too. Like it's starting to get legal. Like some of these substances are getting recognized for all the positive potentials that they have.
Yeah. Now, I was just a friend just told me that he's prescribed ketamine for anxiety and depression. Like, it's really low dose. But I'm like, that's incredible. And
Yeah.
it's things like God, I don't even know, but Wellbutrin and all these heavy antidepressants and shit, they have such horrible side effects.
Yeah.
Like, just shitty. I was on antidepressants for a while, and just makes you feel like a zombie. Just like,
Yeah.
just going through your day. But I think it's dope, like you're saying, that places are trying to recognize that it's got real medicinal use, and all these different medicines have legitimate uses.
Absolutely.
Benefits.
Yeah, the ketamine thing, I heard a friend of mine who's down now in Mexico. I guess in Mexico they have these like treatment centers where you go and they like IV you and you like a doctor monitors it. It's very expensive. It's like thousands of dollars, but a doctor monitors, they IV you and like keep you at a certain level so you're like floating for like a while.
Holy shit.
And it's like a therapy.
I'm
it's
like,
a
where do I sign up?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Does
Believe it's
Kaiser offer this? Insured?
They should. Kaiser
should.
Vallarta. SEC.
Kaiser, Southern California.
Yeah.
Or really Northern Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, he was telling me that, and DMT, they do that same process. Like I haven't even tried DMT. I will be curious to at some point in the future, but that sounds intense because he was like, yeah, no, normally it's only 15 minutes, but this they can maintain it for a while. I'm like, man, but what if they forget to turn it off, and then you're just gone,
That would suck. Then you're just gone.
And then you're just
There's no man's land.
Yep.
Just there.
Yeah.
Tripping. That'd be a lot. I don't know. I feel like people go through those longer kind of experiences for more therapeutic reasons, like to really get to like the bottom of some shit, like some really deep-seated issues. I've heard of people going through like, ayahuasca experiences, peyote experiences, like the toad experiences, and having this like actual physical purge where they throw up something, or sometimes people even shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get it out,
Yeah.
whichever way it comes out. But like, I guess this expelling of stuff is, I guess, symbolic of whatever issue or thing you had going on that needed to be dealt with and addressed. It's like that's now been dealt with, and it's getting out of your spirit, I guess you could say. So now it has to get out of your body. But fuck, I don't know how I haven't done those for that reason. It might be a little too intense of healing for me, sir. But it's definitely some people's bags for sure, and they talk about being different afterwards. Like just, it's almost like a shedding of the skin.
Yeah, it's letting go of some burdens, kind of, or getting, grappling with whatever thing. I kind of, not the last time I did, but one of the more recent times I had psilocybin. This was when I was still up in Oregon, and it was like, I was coming out of a horrible sequence of tragic events, but like just very depressed, like nihilistic, like eating at me. I've been pretty much sober for a whole year and doing these journaling my dreams, and like part of the dream journaling really helped it too. But then with the mushrooms, it was just a little thing, and I'm not saying it was like a total cure or whatever, but the one thing I noticed was like when I was like starting to come up and into like the trip, and it was fast little like goofy phase and starting to get into the deep part, all these horrible feelings started to come up, and just this like questioning of my decisions and the hands that I've been dealt in certain situations, and my responsibilities, and all the stuff started swirling around, kind of pulling me down, and I started like I had to let it out and start crying, right? But then I heard myself crying as though I was like another entity, and the crying, it sounded like this weird like alien thing, and like the sadness that was like, and then I realized like why is that alien over there like so sad? Like there's so much potential like greatness that can be coming, and then I started laughing at this alien that I pictured crying that was actually me. It was really weird, but I came out of it like it was like it wasn't like huge, but it was like a little weight had been lifted after this.
No, for sure. I've definitely noticed with psychedelics, especially, there's this shift in perspective that it's almost like, I was thinking of it earlier, like it's like peeling the layers of an onion away, except for like the layers of an onion are our like trained and ingrained perspectives, like the way that we see things, like that's where we operate from. But really, when we're perceiving these things, are we operating from our true authentic self, or are we operating from how we've been trained to operate by society, and how we've been trained to look at things and question things? It's like when you're under the influence of psychedelics, I feel like the way that we've been trained to think about things just kind of falls away, and it allows you to be more analytical, but in a spiritual way, if that makes sense. Like, you're not really concerned about the same shit that you'd be concerned about with a sober mind, because you're not sober, obviously, but the way in which you're thinking about things, like you were saying, like you saw yourself as like an entity witnessing and hearing yourself crying, and that helped you shift your perspective from, oh, fuck, this shit sucks, to, maybe there's a little bit more silver lining than I realized, So that's what I mean when I say, like, I feel like psychedelics especially can offer a less biased, like culturally biased way of looking at things, and kind of like getting into but out of our heads, if that makes sense. So I definitely appreciate the perspective that you can garner with different psychedelics.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's had such a cool history. I don't know if you I mean, not a cool history, like it's fucked up, like prohibition and everything, but
For sure.
but it's like interesting how it's had this effect. There was this book that I read by, I think he's from Berkeley. This guy Michael Pollan wrote this book called How to Change Your Mind.
Hmm.
And he was like, he would write about food and stuff a lot, but then all of a sudden he got really into psychedelics, and he wrote this book like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he just, yeah, he talks about like psilocybin, LSD, DMT, but he kind of talked about the history of it and how, like, you know, when it exploded on the scene back in, like, you know, the 50s, 60s, like how we weren't ready, because it does have that profound effect.
Sure.
But then, you know, it was Timothy Leary and people like that were just like, we need to give this to everybody. This needs to be, and people were, I mean, because not everyone can handle it, you know?
No, absolutely not. But I feel like the crux of why, you know, that path didn't continue on was that the government was really keen on keeping people in a certain mind state, especially with the Vietnam War and shit like that. And, you know, if you start saying things like LSD and DMT and all this shit is okay, then people are going to start doing it more, and then different perspectives and people's minds are changed about things that
Maybe
the
we shouldn't
government
be
is
bombing
doing.
all those people.
Exactly. Because really, when you think about it, dropping bombs on random people, like, that's some of the most abhorrent, like, just mind-bogglingly unhuman thing to do. Like, humans by nature are social creatures. Like, we get along better with each other and teams and pairs, and not to say that there's not value in solitude and that sort of thing, but to kill each other, like, I don't know. And I feel like psychedelics and sacred medicines that aren't necessarily psychedelics, they offer, like, that, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah, well, it's like it's almost like that violent aspect of that self-destructive aspect of humanity is, like, in a way, like a hypnosis and like a perpetual cycle.
Yeah.
That I feel like maybe whether it's with psychedelics or it's meditation, like a lot of people can come to understand, like, you know, you don't need the whole, and it's cliche, but the eye for an eye thing, like, you know, the cycle can stop here, you know.
Right? Yeah.
But it's, I mean, you know, it's easier said than
Yeah.
done for convincing
sure.
people.
For sure. Especially because, like you said, some people can't really handle it. And I think some people are stuck on, like, the idea of it still, like, haven't even tried it, so they think they can't handle it. But really, you know, with things like microdosing, and it's an option for everybody. Like, I feel like people should at least give it a try. Like, at least microdosing, at least give it a try. And see if, you know, your mood isn't enhanced a little bit. And then just knowing, like, oh, that came from something natural.
Absolutely.
Unless it's from, like, you know, acid or some shit. But I don't think anyone would, like, microdose acid to be happy. I feel like they might. I don't know. Could be. I don't know that, like, the science behind all that. But I'm like, when I take acid, I want to take acid. Like, I want to trip.
Yeah, I've never done acid knowingly.
You did it unknowingly.
I think someone dosed me one time, but I don't want to get into that whole story. That's a fucking nightmare of a story. That's for another time.
So.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I feel like you can't do that. You got it, because with sacred medicine, psychedelics, like, set and setting is so important. Like, the people that you're around, you know, to make sure that you're comfortable, and part of, like, your setting is knowing that I'm about to go through this experience.
Yeah. Not why do I think all my
what
friends
the
are trying
fuck?
to kill me all of a sudden?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, just paranoia sets in. You start seeing colors everywhere, and it's like, I'm dying.
Yeah, really. It was because if you don't have that anchor, the mental anchor of, because even when you're having a bad trip, you can be like, oh,
I'm tripping.
Okay, this is gonna go away. But when you don't know what the fuck is happening, it's that was.
Like, didn't people kill themselves when they were dosed unknowingly by the government? See, that's the bullshit.
I broke my heel. I jumped off. Anyways, this is really. I don't want to.
We're taking a left turn. Let's veer back right.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about it. Maybe just not on the air, you know. But it was it was a crazy story. But yeah, but back to the microdosing.
Yeah.
I've been doing that a little bit lately. Legally, because, you know, and it's decriminalized where we're at in Spring. Yeah. We're here in Springfield, California, by the way, in the East Bay, Springfield, California, very little known city, but
beautiful in Springfield.
Yep. Yeah. But the microdosing. I was telling you a little bit before the show that you know, it's been having these dream effects on me where. like I take it. I felt like it's very mild body something, microdosing of psilocybin the first time I did it, but then each time I've done it, like for about at least 2 nights afterwards, I have much more vivid dreams, and like I remember a lot more, and they just stand out. I don't know. It's like a more in 'em than normal. It's just vivid, like almost lucid.
Sure.
I don't know, but that's just me though.
I wonder if I wonder if there's science behind that.
Yeah.
Because I believe it. Have you been writing what you remember down?
I've been bad about it. I've been before I started microdosing, I was writing my dreams down a bit more than I had been in the past year.
I had a friend tell me to always write, especially when you remember them, that it's a gift to be able to remember your dreams, so write it down.
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that. I'm very lazy about that sort of thing. So
yeah,
someone told me.
I totally am too, and I really see the value of it. But I'm like very lazy, and like even though I have like done this before and I know the value, it is like a whole thing in the morning because you're in that state. Like a lot of the times, I'm like, I either want to go back in the dream, or I like hit the snooze button, and and then I'm running late, or something, and I don't have time to do it, and maybe sometimes they come back to me later in the day too, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, what was I? God, I was just gonna get on some point about writing down the dreams. Microdosing dreams.
More vivid.
What if we're in a dream right now?
That would, be some Matrix shit.
Yeah. Am I dreaming? This is for lucid dreaming. That's what you have to do. You have to throughout the day say, "Am I dreaming right now?" and try to push your finger through your hand. And if it doesn't go through, then you're not. You're awake.
Well, I think that I must be awake because my finger's not going through my hand.
Another thing you can do is plug your nose and try to inhale. If you do that, if you start doing that frequently, and I did this for a while, if you start doing it frequently, you'll eventually, in your dream, if something weird cues you, you might remember to do that and check if you're in a dream. I'm not making this. And then, when you do that, if you plug your nose and you try to inhale and you're in a dream, you'll feel the air going in your nostril, and you become lucid. I'm not this is real. This is real stuff.
I'll see if I can recall that the next time I'm in a lucid dream.
Well, that's the thing. You got to be doing a lot when you're awake. See, I forget to do this stuff too.
Yeah,
I was really into it for a while.
But,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
And take some acid. So.
Clearly not remember to breathe through my nose with my nose closed. So.
Yeah, I the first time I remembered to do it in a dream, I was exhaling through my nose, and then I got so worried. I felt it, and I was like, oh yeah, but then I got so worried that I was going to be blowing snot everywhere that I woke myself up.
What the fuck?
I wasn't blowing snot, but I was like worried that I was, and then I woke myself up.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm into weird stuff. I'm into sacred medicines and dreams.
And snot, apparently.
And,
there we go.
Who's not into snot?
Sacred snot.
Sacred snot. It's real. Yeah.
I haven't really microdosed a whole bunch. I feel like my tolerance, or maybe the addict in me is like, I just want to feel high. But definitely, I know there are benefits. People taking little bits, helping them feel more productive. Been bettering people's moods. I have a friend that I don't know if you would call it distributes. Gives people access to vials of LSD. And definitely, they've said that lots of people have expressed not only interest, but that the medicine's been helpful with, a number of different things. So, I think people should try it. I think people should give it a try.
Yeah.
I do.
It's good. I definitely think, like you said, set and setting, it's great. The one caution, besides obviously knowing that you're doing it, I would say is the suggestibility, I guess they call it, that you can have if you're, if you're around someone. The classic example is the, Charles Manson. That's like, oh, it's this hippie, the acid hippie cult, and they're gonna steal your children, and
that's why I think it's important to be very selective about who you're around when you're in that state of mind, because I think you can definitely be more impressionable, you can be more sensitive for sure.
Yeah.
And you can be more emotive. Like you can just like you saying you were crying. I've cried on shit before, and it's like there's a level of vulnerability with that I feel like not everyone is entitled to.
Yeah.
So to be very selective about the people that you have around you, when you make yourself vulnerable in those experiences, I think is really important because it can have, a very detrimental effect on the whole experience.
Oh, totally.
To be around someone with shit energy or like
just
with bad things to say or is not supportive. Ugh.
Yeah. No. Do you have personal experience with this, or have you been lucky enough to have usually good people around?
I do. When I was first beginning to dabble, I took shrooms with, an ex-boyfriend, but we weren't really in like a good place at the time. And so I feel like, number one, to not be in a good place in general is probably not the best launching point for any of these. But, for some people it works. For me, it doesn't. Because I feel like it starts from a bad place and then just goes completely further left from there. And then being around someone with whom, like, I wasn't in the best standing made it so that they weren't the most supportive or understanding or patient. And it's like, well, fuck, this is completely not fun. So I learned really quickly, number one, be in a good headspace before you start. And then be around good people that you don't mind potentially showing your ass to. Not like literally, but...
Well, sometimes literally, but,
Okay, sometimes literally. That might be some white boy shit.
Oh, do I have a story for... No.
Do I have a story for you? I bet. But yeah, that's all part of the set and setting, the people too.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. No, I did them one time. It was after the first time I'd ever tried mushrooms. And the first time I did them was amazing. It was with a girlfriend at the time. We were in a really good place. But then the next time, it was probably like 3 or 4 months later. And we were drunk in the city with one of her friends, who was a bartender. And probably shouldn't tell this story on here. But we did them on a whim that someone had them, and it was, and we were drunk and we were like, oh yeah, that was really fun. We did it last time.
No, let's do it again.
Yeah, but it was, it being in the city was just like, it started to creep me out, and so then we went back to her friend's apartment, and her friend like wanted to go to a disco party, and I was like, why the fuck would you want to do that?
Yeah, why?
And so then I was like pretending to pass out, and then they thought I died, and they were like, she was freaking out, calling her sister, and like, should we call the ambulance? And I was like, no, I'm just not going to the damn disco party.
I don't want to go to the disco. Damn it. I'm faking my own death here because I don't want to go to the goddamn disco party.
It was bad,
it's bullshit.
I did some close to showing ass and embarrassing myself, and
well, good thing it was just close to.
Yeah.
And not the full-fledged.
Yeah. So my girlfriend at the time she got it, her friend threw a purse at her head that had a DSLR camera in it.
Oh.
Yeah. It turned mildly violent towards the end.
I mean, like, what kind of money do you have to not care that you're throwing your?
It was our camera. It was a camera that I was borrowing from a relative for a thing we were shooting that weekend, and it happened to be in her purse. And I don't think the gal knew, but she must have felt that it was heavy.
Okay, but you just don't pick people's bags up and just start chucking people's personal belongings. What the fuck?
It was a series of events happened.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
It was bad. No, it was definitely weird, and I was like, I don't want to kick it with that person.
It's like, well, I got a purse thrown at my head with a camera in it. I think I'm good.
Yeah, and we couldn't go anywhere. Like, we were at her place, we didn't know where we were in the city. We were like tripping, so we had to like stay there. It was really
I don't like that feeling of not knowing where I am. Yeah, no, I've definitely been there, but like on different drugs, not good drugs.
Yeah,
bad drugs.
Yeah, stay away from the bad drugs.
Stay away from the bad drugs, kids.
If
they're cheap. And, I don't know, mildly accessible, stay away from them.
Yeah. If it grows in the ground, it's probably okay, right?
Yeah. If it comes from the planet, it's good.
Yeah.
If it's synthetic, maybe try something different.
Yeah, precisely.
Maybe.
So, good advice.
Because LSD is synthetic. DMT is also synthetic. I feel like DMT is the scientifically isolated molecule. Was it the the neuroactin. Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure. Well, I could Google it.
Peyote.
We have the internet. Let's see.
I think it's. Is it what's the peyote? There's a cactus too. But I think DMT is the isolated, whatever the hell you call that, from, might have been peyote, might have been mushrooms, not sure.
Yeah, well, I know it's, DMT is, ayahuasca.
Okay.
Like when you,
All right.
what they do for ayahuasca is it's two different plants. There's like a root and a bark or something. Mm-hmm. And like one of them is like this inhibitor thing that then enables the chemical from the other one. Like you make two different teas, and then one of them, or you might mix them into one tea. I don't know.
What happens if they only give you one tea? You don't quite get there.
No, you don't. Yeah, you're trip ready, but you're not.
It's like I packed, but I didn't get on the plane.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I think. Yeah, I was researching that for a while because there was a point back like a few years ago, and I was like, ooh, I would love to just. I mean, I still would be interested. I don't know when I would be able to, go to Peru and do the whole shebang where you're out there, you got a shaman and all that shit. And it's like a few days, like you do a few different trips over a couple weeks.
Come back a whole new person.
Yeah. Yeah. So some heavy duty stuff. I'm like, part of me is like, do I don't need to do that, maybe.
I mean, you know what? I feel like it's the ego that will sit up here and tell us like, oh, I don't need to do this, or I don't want to do that, or I. It's like, okay. But really, everyone, I feel like, could benefit from a spiritual exploration, from, decluttering their psyche. Everybody has fucking trauma and shit that they've been carrying for forever, basically. And I think that sacred medicines offer people a way to kind of alleviate some of that, or if not alleviate it, like understand it better and navigate it better. So I feel like there's benefit in this at varying levels for everybody,
Totally.
Maybe if everyone went through that process, maybe we all wouldn't be walking around like such fucking assholes, like ego this and that, like just me first and the gimmies, like me, I.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing though. I've totally felt that. I've had that feeling like, and I do to like, I was like, man, we should just like fly a plane and just spray like psilocybin spores everywhere, so they're just growing everywhere.
Instead of the nanotech, let's just fucking spray mushrooms
exactly.
in the air. People can just fucking chill out.
Yeah, totally. But then I think back to that weird trip I had where it's like, no, but then you get one person in a room that wants to sit there and then another one that wants to go to disco and then start throwing things at each other.
That's I think people should do certain things on their own. I think there's a level of benefit that you can't really get to when you're in a crowd of too many people, because too many it becomes too much of a need for compromise at that point. And when you're in that state of like self-exploration and like diving into your psyche, I don't really know if that's the most appropriate place for compromise. I'm not saying compromise is bad. I go compromise. I think that when you're doing certain things, though, it's important to look out for self first. Totally. And if you're, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Like if you're high as balls, like, it's probably best that you look out for yourself if you can, as best you can, or be around someone that can help you do that and not be in a group of 32 people where it's like, this person wants to do this and that, and like this, you get totally overwhelmed. And
now with the COVID, forget about it.
You can get the vid.
Yeah.
The vid-19.
The vid. 3 points on the vid.
Oh man, this shit's fucking wild. Like, can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I whatever. People stay the fuck home.
Yeah. I mean, I like the I work in food service. Mm-hmm. As one of my jobs, so I when I'm not doing weird podcasts for free 99, I'm making coffee for people, and it's cool. Like, I didn't feel like I got, like, a lot of people got that, like, work from home, like,
yeah, no, I didn't.
They went a little crazy, but I've been, like, interacting with people, and, we're all masked and behind the stuff, and no, haven't gotten it yet, it's, I don't know. I already lived like kind of a weird hermit
Hermit
life.
style, yeah.
Yeah, so it has, but I understand. Like
Like
it's
I was
totally
already
been.
socially distanced
Yeah,
before this was the thing.
yeah. I'm a weirdo already, so everyone's just becoming weirdos like me. So how I'm viewing it.
Well, if being a weirdo keeps people from getting into life, that's just be fucking weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hell yeah. So we got a little bit of time left. I know you gotta head out in a minute here. Oh, I did want to ask you. I was curious. So you know the person who makes the Pink Cat comic on the
That is my
internet?
friend Sabe, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was you that shared it first when I saw it, or somehow I saw it through someone else. But then I saw you like interacting on there, and I was like, oh, cool. Like that's pretty. Yeah, that cracks me up.
No,
That's
she's
one.
definitely got a very unique, woman of color, very pro-Islam perspective that I think, it's important for people to feel like, number one, feel like they have a voice and to be heard and seen. But then, two, I feel like it's important for people to be receptive to other people's voices. And I think that her platform, it engages so many different kinds of people from so many different walks of life. And her her cartoons, if you will, really I think are conversation starters. Like some of the things that
Totally.
she'll write or draw about can be considered controversial by some people.
Yeah, well,
But that's how conversations get started. Like people, being shocked about something and being called or to speak on it. And
yeah.
from what I know, she's a pretty big proponent of sacred medicine. I'm not going to sit up here and speak for anyone else, but
Yeah. Well, what I like in a lot of them is all the swinger content that's going on there. I mean, and this might be a controversial opinion, but I feel like in the modern dating era, there's two kinds of people. There's swingers and there's people who are gonna inevitably get upset.
Swinger.
I don't know. I mean, she's got all these different, all this different stuff going on. I'm like, ooh, it's always like some drama, and it's like oh, this is like oddly specific. I'm very intrigued.
I think 2020 is definitely opened up a more, I guess, polyamorous look on things. People aren't really, not people, will not use general statements, but some people are more open to the idea of loving multiple people and, that being their lifestyle.
Totally. Yeah, here, I'll put it up on the screen real quick. This is the Pink Cat Daily on Instagram. Just giving it a shout out. It's pretty funny. Like, yeah, see, there's all these different, there's like the Navy fella and then the Aqua fella, and then there's like the Spirit one that's like the star one that like kicks, I don't know. It's just like all these different little stories, little vignettes and things going on. Oh, some of the stuff might get me banned from YouTube here with all the nude cat nudity.
She started an OnlyFans for Pink Cat content that was not Instagram appropriate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I've not seen it, but I think it's dope. Damn, more power to you, girl. Do your thug thizzle. And she is. I think it's amazing that she's taken something that she, is good at and enjoys doing and is making, making financial gain from that. Like
it's awesome because she's got quite a huge following.
She's been doing it for a while. God, I want to say, when was the first time I saw Pink Cat? Maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. It was a cool minute ago.
Wow.
Yeah, she's been. I think Pink Cat might even be like an alter ego. Maybe not an alter ego, but like a cartoonification of her.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Some of the stuff is like oddly specific, but
she's definitely drawing from the conversations that she and I have had. My understanding is that she's definitely drawing from a lot of personal perspective. She also uses other people's words to create or to spark ideas for her artwork, which I think is dope too. But she's got a dope thing going.
Yeah, it cracks me. It's probably been like a couple years now that I saw it on or somehow discovered it, and yeah, it pops up on my feed. I'm like, oh, what's this damn cat up to today? This is hilarious. Yeah.
She's up to something.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes maybe not so good. Hey, you never know.
But that's life.
Just,
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a whole bunch of different stuff. just a big soup of stuff.
Yep. Oh my God. Soup of stuff. Well.
Soup of stuff.
Hey, is there anything you want to get out there in your last few minutes on here to let the people know?
I guess I just really think that everyone should do some research. Give sacred medicines a try. Whether it be weed or, LSD, peyote, ayahuasca. Whatever that cactus is, that's not peyote.
San Pedro.
There's so many different things I think that people can research and try, and there's some things that speak, I feel like, to people differently. Some people respond, I guess you could say, better or worse to different things. So I think it's important to stay open and like give things a try. If after a try you're not a fan, that's fine. But the most important thing is that most of these substances are not addictive. It's very important that people realize that.
Absolutely. And do you know about salvia? You know anything about salvia?
A little bit. I'm a little bit afraid of salvia. So
that was the first hallucinogenic thing I ever did. Only because it was legal.
Yeah.
And we were like, it was in college. We got shipped to the dorm room because we were like, yeah, that would be hilarious to get some hallucinogenic drugs shipped to our dorm room. So we did it just for doing that. And we're like, wow, are we really about to do this? We got it. We'd seen some videos of some people going crazy on it. We're like, all right, yeah, we'll just watch each other and
what the fuck? You guys did it after watching the videos?
Oh hell yeah! The one video that I saw was this guy. I feel like he was acting or playing it up because he was like, he was running around and he's like, like running around in his yard, and then he's like, the grass is the fur of a Muppet. And I was like, dude, I want to try so. And then he comes down and there are all these kittens around him. He's like, oh, look at these kittens, and it was just like this. Yeah, it was a very cool, wholesome video, and I was like, that seems pretty. Yeah, it seems pretty insane, but
let's give it a try.
Yeah, I tried it, man. I will tell you, I have never been so happy to be back in reality. I did not want to do that shit ever again. That was terrifying. I saw something that I can't unsee.
Yeah, that's what happens. Be careful. Gotta be careful.
But I'm glad I did it. It was fun. It was interesting.
And that's why I say just have an open mind, give it a try. Because even with it being not the best experience, you said you're still glad you did it. You have that experience now.
Yeah.
So, it's you're not somebody that's just speaking from no experience.
Yeah, I never would have had. I never. Profoundly definitely changed my outlook, I would say. I mean, it was like the Matrix. It really literally felt like I was coming back into the Matrix when I was coming off of it, which kind of freaked me out because I felt like I had been in this place that was like the secret real thing behind the curtain, and it was.
So I've been behind the curtain.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Not a curtain I wanted to get behind.
Right? It's like shit.
And it turns you into a 2D object. You're stuck in this whatever. I don't know. It was weird, man. You can't even describe it. It's something else. I don't recommend it. But,
Yeah, no, I'll definitely pass on the salvia. Pass on that.
All right. Well, on that note, Adrina, thank you very much for coming here talking to me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I hope anyone who was watching learned a thing or two. This whole podcast it's information for the people. That's what my podcast is. That's literally the motto or the what's my podcast about? People ask me. Yeah, slogan. There you go. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, slogan. Information for the people, and I think we had some great information about the sacred medicines today. And pink cats and all. Yeah, go check out Pink Cat too. Yeah. And anything else you want to plug? Anything you want to plug?
Nope.
Go check out something.
Go check out Yahweh. That's all I have to say.
Go Yahweh.
Yahweh. Just YAHWEH. Just check it out. I won't speak on it. Just go check it out.
All right, I'm gonna go check that out for sure. Hey, adios, and until next time.
Peace out, Trout.
Peace out, Trout.
Keep it jamming like salmon.